Welcome to onFact. In this video, we will highlight the basic functionalities so that you can get started with our program right away. onFact is an online invoicing program that you can use via any internet browser. We also have a free mobile application that you can install on your smartphone or your tablet. This way, you always have your business data at your fingertips. To access your onFact account, go to our website onfact.be. If you don't have an onFact account yet, you can easily register for a free trial period by clicking the green Try Now or Probeer Nu button. If you want to log in into your existing onFact account, you can do so by clicking the Login button at the top right corner. Once you're logged in, you will be taken directly to the overview of your onFact account, which will be very similar to the environment we see here. This is your dashboard, the home page of your account. And when you get started with the account, we keep it very simple on purpose. So here you see the main menu at the left side, where you will only see an overview of contacts. So these will be, of course, your customers. And if you're also going to save your purchase documents in onFact, we could also present a list of suppliers. Then you could have an overview of products or services that you've saved in the system. It's not obligatory to work with saved products or services, but it's possible. An overview of your sales documents. Here we see proposals, invoices, and credit notes that have been activated. An overview of purchase documents. So if you'd also store the documents from your suppliers to you in onFact, they would be listed here. And then lastly, the possibility to also connect your bank account information for documents to be marked as paid automatically. Now, onFact can do a lot more than just creation of proposals, invoices, and credit notes, and all of our functionalities are available by clicking the top right email address and then moving to the apps and integrations. This will display all our possible features, functionalities, and modules that you could activate in your account. For instance, if in the Documents section you would be interested to also use delivery notes in your workflow, you can simply move to this part, click the green button Activate, and you'll see that next to proposals and invoices, you can now also start creating delivery notes. So it's really our idea that you as a customer will browse these sections individually to see which kind of modules might be interesting for your workflow. You also have to assume that all of the modules are included in your subscription. If that's not the case, or if they're part of a certain or specific subscription, that's also clearly marked. For example, if we move to the products section, there you'll see that we have some technical supplier connections. These are listed with a premium flag where it's clearly marked that this app can only be activated if you're a premium user or have a premium subscription. If you would already be using a system similar to onFact and you already have, for example, a customer list available, know that it's also possible to upload this in one go. So if you could export this from your current system into, let's say, an Excel file, it's possible to upload it in one go. The same is true for an overview of your suppliers, which can also be important, and also an eventual overview of products or services that you'd like to upload. Now, to get started with onFact, it's not mandatory to start uploading these lists. We will see that when we create a document, you can also simply save a customer from the document that you're creating. So for this demonstration, I'm going to start with the creation of a proposal, and next we will move on to an invoice. Here you'll see the overview of your proposals. So in this demonstration account, I had already created some documents. Now, if you want to create a proposal, you just simply click the green button here, Create Proposal. The first thing we see here when we create a new proposal is, of course, the customer information. So you could create this document for a customer who's already present in your customer list. Then it would be enough to just simply type some characters from a name. The name is presented here, and you could select the customer to be attributed to your proposal. It's also possible to click the small icon here to search in your different customers. So for instance, you can select the customer this way, select them, and their data will be matched to your document. Now, in case you would like to create a document to a customer that's not already present in your customer list, and let's say that, for instance, it's an enterprise, you could add the VAT number in the VAT number field and then click the Validate button. If you click Validate, we are going to search relevant company information, and if we find it, we can immediately add it to your document. So for instance, here we are going to create this proposal to our own company so that later on we can also, for the sake of demonstration, send the invoice via the PEPPOL network. In the language field, it's possible to determine the language. Let's put it to English for this demonstration, and then I can immediately save this customer as a new customer by simply ticking the box here. Now, the next section that we have here are the services or product lines. So here we are going to enter in the proposal the items that we want to present to our customer. For example, in my saved product lists, I know that I have some pens. So if I'm going to select one of these pens, it's going to be added, and I'm seeing the name here with some specifications here in the optional description. I want to sell 100 pieces, and here we see the price per piece, which can also again be modified here in the small number line. So this way you'll see that immediately the system creates a new line to be added or to be completed. As I've talked about before, it's not really mandatory to work with these kind of saved products. It's also possible to just add, let's say, a general consultancy. This way you're just going to add a text line with more or less, for this example, a fixed price. And if you would like to add some more information about this consultancy, you can click the yellow More button here, which will open a free text field where you can again add additional information as much as you would like. Again, a new line is presented, and this way you're just going to build or create your products or services list that you want to display on the proposal. Whilst you are creating your document, we will also always display here the totals for your document, so you can see what your final amount would be and what you would going to present to your customer. Now, if you have a quite large document or a very detailed document to present to your customer, it's also possible to work with what we call a section and a title. This will allow you to divide the document into titles and then subtotals, creating different blocks that will be mentioned one below each other. When you're finished adding your different lines, again, this is a simple input in onFact. You can also add product numbers, product photos, different translations, units of measure. All these things can be activated in the applications and connections section. But here we talk about a very basic input if you would get started with the program right away without activating any other modules. So continuing after our different lines, we move to the bottom text, and this is also really what it is, a text that's displayed at the bottom of your document. Now, for more or less every document type in onFact, we provide a default text, which is like this one, but that can be easily modified in your account. So if you like to add a different text or another text as a default, you can modify it, and that's the one that will also always be loaded here in this window. Again, this is just a free text field, so if you'd like to add some particular information, let's say only for this proposal, you could easily add a bit of text here to your liking. Next, we move on to the very general information of our document. Template refers to the layout that you're going to apply to your document. Generally, your template would include your brand logo, certain colors, to really fit the look and feel of your business. Then you'd have a date for your document and a serial number. The serial number can be modified in terms of structure because perhaps you're using some kind of other numbering, and then also on the part of the final serial number, which can also be modified to match the current document number that you're using, let's say, in another system. Possibility to add an order reference, possibility to add a general discount on the document as a percentage or a fixed amount, and then the validity of your document, which is closely related to the next possibility, which is the signature by the customer. If you're going to tick this box, you will have the possibility, or you will offer the possibility to your customer to sign the document online. Now, the validity term is linked to this, meaning that if I say, okay, I really want my customer to decide quite fast, and I'm going to set my date to 10 days, the moment the customer wants to sign the proposal, if it would already be like, say, day 15, it will no longer be possible. So the customer is only allowed to sign the document within these 10 days. Click the green button Add to save the proposal to the system. And this will generate a new proposal in our overview. We see that this one has gotten a number and we've created it on these dates and times. Now, to see what it would look like for your customer, you can click the gray View Print Version button here, and this will open a PDF document as it would be sent to your customer. So in this case, I've uploaded a fictional brand logo or company logo here in my account. I've modified the colors. I've added a background. Here we'll see my proposal overview, the items that I want to sell, the different prices, the bottom text that's completed here, and then below the possibility to add the customer signature. Now, as a last page of my proposal, I've also automatically included my general terms and conditions. So if you would have a document like that, just know that it's very easy to upload it in onFact and have it added to all the documents that you're creating, be it a proposal, an invoice, a credit note, and so on. Now, if you'd see something here in this preview that's not quite right yet, for example, these pens, yeah, the quantity shouldn't have been 100, but perhaps 1,000, you can still move back to the proposal page here, where you can edit the proposal. So, modifying the customer information, modifying the different proposal lines, adding or deleting things, you can modify the document until you're satisfied with it and you really want to send it to the customer. Now, let's say that for now the document is okay and we want to send it to our customer. Then you can easily do so by clicking the yellow Send by Email button. So if you do that, we open a new email window. Here we have the possibility to add the customer email address. There's a default subject line that's proposed. Again, this can be modified in your account. And then a default email message talking about how you can approve the proposal online by clicking the button below and signing it. Now again, this is just a plain or blank text. When we are sending this signature email, we will also apply another template layer to it, which will present a very nice signature button so that your client receives the email and can easily click the button to be directed to the page where he can consult your proposal, this one, and then place the signature in the box here to the left side. So your customer will look at the proposal that you sent him, and if they agree to it, they can place a signature here. Once again, we ask the customer to also add the full name, and then we can agree to sign the document just by clicking the green button here. This will then transfer the signature to your document. You'll see it here, where the document has been read and approved by the customer's name on this and this date. And once again, the general terms and conditions have been applied at the back of the document. Now, as soon as your proposal has been signed by the customer, you'll see this in the program. If we go back, we'll see that now the document has been accepted. We also see the signature here. And then you'll also see that we are going to lock this document because, of course, the customer has agreed to these and these terms and amounts, and it's not so desirable that you would modify them again afterwards. From the proposal, a logical next step could be that you are going to copy this document to a new document. Depending on which modules that you've activated in your onFact account, more or less possibilities will be proposed here. One of the popular copy to actions is, of course, to an advance invoice. If you would select this one, you'd be able to select a percentage or a fixed amount for which you would like to create an advance invoice. You can create multiple advance invoices. And as soon as you've created one advance invoice, we will also propose you to create a final invoice, which again, at the end of your project, let's say, can be modified before sending it to your customer. Now, for some people, it might also be interesting to create invoices from the overview of invoices without passing through a proposal first, so directly creating an invoice. That can be done by clicking the green Create Invoice button here at the top right. So if we're going to create an invoice, you'll see that we follow more or less the same track here. So as we've already saved our customer, I'm going to select our own company. So now this will be linked to our customer file here. Next, again, we can add some products to our invoice. So again, let's add another pen. Where we are going to sell 1000 pieces. And then again, I could add some other services or just a free text to again show you how it's done when you're just simply going to add textual information to your invoice. Now, just a very quick invoice to show you how it works. Again, basic input, you could activate different or other extra additional fields via the applications and connections, but this is just the very general easy input to create an invoice. Bottom text, again, the text that will follow at the end of our document. Of course, for an invoice, this is different what we propose versus what is listed on a proposal, because here we talk about the request to pay the document. So normally this is something like, thank you for your confidence in, and then your company name. Please transfer the invoice amount within so and so many days to your own account number, stating, for instance, the invoice number. Now, if you're a Belgian company and you would like to connect your bank account information, you might also want to add the structured code to add a structured message. This will immediately generate a random payment message so that people can also use a structured communication or structured message when paying your invoice. Moving on to the template, so your logo, your background, your colors. Again, the possibility to change the date, modify the serial number, as with the proposal in terms of structure, and then also the final number, both are possible. Adding an order reference, again, adding a general discount to your document, percentage or amount, and then a payment term, which can be installed in your account, so on a general level, related to your customer file, or specifically for this invoice, let's say this one gets 30 days to pay. Simply click Add to save your invoice, and then we see that the invoice is created. If we are going to take a look at the print version, you'll see that layout-wise, this is not going to be very different from your proposal, because of course we use the same layout or same template throughout the different documents that you're creating. One thing that is significantly different is then this request for payment, which is mentioned here below. Next to simply this request for payment, we also have the possibility to add QR codes on your invoice or to work with a link for online payment. Depends a bit on how your end clients are used to paying your invoices. As mentioned with the proposals, I've also included my general terms and conditions here, so they are always merged with my invoices as well as a final page. Now, if you'd see again here something that's not quite right yet, simply move back to the View Invoice screen where you can edit the invoice again before sending it. Now, if we go to the overview of invoices, just to show you the different statuses in our program, you see that a new invoice has been created. That's the invoice that we created just now, which has a concept status, meaning that the invoice has been created in the system. It has its number, but we're still working on it. It hasn't been sent to the client yet. Yellow button sent, this invoice has been created and it's already been sent to the customer who still has time to pay the document. Red button sent, this document was created in onFact, sent to the customer, but this one already passed the due date for payment, so perhaps we can send them a payment reminder, and then 3 documents that have already been paid, so we don't need to follow up on those. Now, if we move back to the invoice that we just created and we are going to take a look at it, we can simply send it to our customer. And there are some ways to send the document to your customer via onFact. So the first one, for this document, it has been created to a customer who is a company, who has a VAT number. So from the 1st of January on, it would be obligatory to send this document via the PEPPOL network. As you can see here, we are already in the background going to check whether your recipient with this and this VAT number is able to receive these documents via PEPPOL, because perhaps they don't have a software such as onFact yet, and they might not yet be able to receive these documents via the PEPPOL network. If that's the case, you'll see a red cross indicating that it's not possible to send via PEPPOL. But in this case, this recipient is already active on the PEPPOL network, so we can simply click the yellow button, send the document via PEPPOL. If you do so, we will show you a pop-up that says, okay, is this clearly the VAT number of your customer? If that's the case, you don't need to modify anything, and it just suffices to click the green send button to send the document via the PEPPOL network. We see that the document has been sent via PEPPOL, and then also an immediate confirmation for the reception, so the document has been well received by the customer in his or her software system. Now, if your customer would call you back asking to also send the document via email, that's possible. Simply click the blue button actions here, where you would still have the possibility to send the document again via email, so the one doesn't exclude the other. Creating a document in onFact, so creating an invoice in onFact, whether you're going to print it out and hand it to your customer, whether you're going to send it via email, or whether you're going to send it via PEPPOL, the method of creating your invoice doesn't change. So PEPPOL really will only be another way of getting the document to your customer. The way to create the invoice in our system is always the same. So in terms of sending a document as an e-invoice via the PEPPOL network, this has already been covered now, but you're all enterprises, and so from the 1st of January on, you will also be obliged to be able to receive documents from your suppliers as e-invoices. That's also possible in onFact, so that can be found here in the Purchases section, where here you will see that I have already collected some purchase documents from my suppliers. One document which I've already paid, one document which I should have already paid a long time ago, and one document for which I still have a couple of days' time to make the payment. So based on the documents that I've collected here, I can now see that at this point in time, I have a good 2,000 euros outstanding to my suppliers, and that can be monitored here at the top left corner. Now, in order to collect your different purchase documents in onFact, you can move to the To Be Processed section here, where we will present you different ways to gather all your different purchase documents in the system. The first one is via the mobile application. This one contains a small camera icon. You could take a picture from a certain purchase document, and the picture of this document will automatically be displayed here in the bottom part of the page, which are the incoming purchase documents. Could also be that you're still collecting or receiving invoices on paper from your suppliers, let's say by regular mail. If these documents are scanned, they might perhaps create a PDF document on your computer, which you can simply drag into this frame to be also displayed here at the bottom list. Could also be that you're receiving documents in your professional mailbox. These purchase documents can be forwarded in one go to a specific email address that can be found here in the middle of this screen. Will always be a dedicated email address related to your company, so it will be the name of your company, some numbers, and then inbox.onfact.be. The email text is something that we cannot process, but we can remove the annexes, let's say a PDF document, and again display them here in this processing list. And the last possibility is if you're going to activate your PEPPOL inbox, which can be done by simply clicking here. You're actually going to communicate to the PEPPOL network that you're now also active on this network with your enterprise. So other suppliers will pick up on this and gradually will start sending you e-invoices directly to your PEPPOL inbox, which is located here in your onFact program. If you receive an e-invoice, it will look something like this. So it will be a document that ends in XML, and it will also be displayed here in our incoming purchase documents section. Now, it's not our intention that you as an onFact user will be checking onFact every day to see if you've received a new document. So the moment that you receive an e-invoice through onFact, we will also again simply send you a general email to inform you of the invoice that you've received, from which supplier it was, and then also include the invoice in an annex. So here I have now two purchase documents that are waiting for me to be processed, meaning to be saved in my onFact system. So I can click the blue button process to continue. If I click this one, on the one hand, I will see a preview of the invoice that has been sent to me, where I can check what has been invoiced to me, see all the lines with all the different details. Now, on the other hand, we will already detect some supplier information from your purchase document. So you'll see here that this is an invoice from my supplier Starcom, and different other supplier information has been automatically detected and added to the system already. So I don't need to modify or add anything again in this section. Next part is the purchase information. So there I'll see, okay, when was the invoice created, what's the payment date, and these payment dates will also be again used in the overview of purchases to mark urgent purchases or not. Some general information about your document, and then also the different amount divided into, if it would be the case, different VAT amounts or types. The total amount we see here for this invoice is exactly the same as what we see on our base invoice, so no need to modify anything, and we can simply click the green button Add and View to see the document in our onFact overview of purchases. The purchase has been added, and then we get some different possibilities. Either we can say, okay, I know this invoice has already been paid. I can change the status to paid by clicking the green button here. Or if the invoice isn't paid yet, you will see that at the bottom of the page, we are also going to present you with a QR code that can simply be scanned by your bank application in order to execute the payment and have the document being marked as paid. If we take a look at the overview of our purchases, we'll see that a new line has been added. So it's this line here, again with a yellow button, so we still have some time to pay the document. And now we see that also our total amount outstanding to our suppliers has been augmented. Now, from the overview of your purchases, but also from the overview of your sales documents, so your invoices and your credit notes, it's possible to send these documents seamlessly to the accounting package that your accountant is using. We have a lot of different connections available for this, so they can be found under the apps and integrations, under the part of the accountancy, where they're listed alphabetically. So it's really useful to inform with your accountant which package they're using to make sure that you can activate the right connection and have your documents sent to the right accounting package even automatically. A final part of the menu here at the left side is the payments section. So if you would have a Belgian bank account, it's possible to connect your account to the onFact system. This will give you an overview of different kind of transactions. So you'd see green amounts. These are amounts that have been allocated to your account. Or red amounts. These are expenses that you've made. So they're listed here as well in order for them to be matched to your purchase documents. Now, if your bank account would be linked, the onFact system can detect which documents, let's say purchase invoices, have been paid or not automatically. So you would see these different statuses move over time as soon as we're able to connect a payment that we've received with the details of your invoice. Next to the payment section, which is the final one that you will see here in the overview of the menu, there are still some general settings that I would like to quickly elaborate on, and those can be found here on your company settings. The first one are the templates. So if you're going to create a new account in onFact, you'll have the possibility to set up different templates, meaning different layouts to be used for your documents. If you're going to start with your account, you will simply see a classic template here that can be modified to your likings. So this is really the blank canvas that you're starting from. But here you'd have the possibility to upload a logo, select the background, modify different spaces and linings, select different fonts, change colors using a hex code or by simply clicking the selector here, and so on. So you're really able to determine a layout that is really close to the look and feel of your company. One of the other settings here under the company settings are the different users in your system. So let's move to the user side here, where you'll see that in this account, 2 users have already been created. Now, in all of our subscription plans, 3 users are included. By default, you don't have to use them all, but just know that it's possible to create 3 users. One of you is always going to be the owner of the account, meaning this is a person who has full access, who can modify the company information, who can conclude a subscription, and so on. You could also have multiple owners if you all work at the same level, but you could also have somebody using onFact who is, let's say, just a staff member. These staff members can be granted access to modules or not. So for instance, let's say my colleague Eric is only working on my sales department. Well, then I can give them access to proposals and perhaps also delivery notes, but he doesn't have to see anything related to my invoices, my payments, and so on. Next to these 2 users who are really active at the core of my company, I can also grant an additional support user or accountant access to my accountant. This is what we see here at the bottom of the page. An access for an accountant is always a free access, but is necessary for the creation of some accounting program links. So this really depends on the type of accounting software that your accountant is using. Now, we also briefly discussed the possibility to add general terms and conditions, so that can be done on the attachment page here under the general terms and conditions. And if you're going to upload such document as a PDF document, we're able to merge it with the basic document of, let's say, your invoice or your proposal, so that it becomes one document to be sent to your customer. The merging can be done by clicking the yellow settings button and then determine how the document should be merged with another document. Lastly, email settings. If you're going to create an onFact account and you want to send a document to your customer via email, that's going to work perfectly immediately without you having to modify anything. But in that case, we're going to send the document via our general onFact address, which is also a no reply address, meaning your customer is not able to directly respond to the document or the message that you've sent him. Now, many of you will be using, let's say, a Gmail, an Outlook, or an own domain name address. So it's also possible to insert your own email address here under these email settings. You can do so by clicking the yellow edit button, where then next you'll see that there are a bunch of different settings that you can apply in order to send via the address of your likings, so that also when your customer is going to respond to the document, the reply will be received in your own professional inbox and not in the onFact system. So all of the things that we've discussed so far, creation of these different types of sales documents, collecting your purchase documents, sending and receiving via PEPPOL, transmitting this information to your accountant, can all be done within our Pro subscription, which is our most popular subscription. It's a subscription at 15 euros per month, or if you're going to have it annually, 150 euros for a full year. We're not going to look at the amount of documents that you create, so this is, let's say, unlimited. You can also use all sales modules, purchase modules, and so on, sending, receiving via PEPPOL, and also in all of our subscriptions, the support is included. The difference with the premium subscription, which is our largest subscription, is that this subscription also contains some modules more on planification and execution. So time tracking, creating work orders, having an agenda, project planning, and then some direct supplier connections more related to the technical professions. The difference with the free subscription is that there is a limit on documents. In the free subscription, you can only create 3 sales documents per month, and it's also not possible to really manage your purchases. You could collect them all in this to be processed list, but there's no real follow-up in the general overview of processes. This is only available in our paying subscriptions. So as I mentioned, our support is also included. You can easily contact us through the general email address, which is support@onfact.be, or by simply filling in the form should you have any other questions regarding the program or how to efficiently work with onFact.